right, welcome guys to the Chivalrous Man Men's Group. I'm your brother Shahid, and I am super excited. Last Thursday, we had our first mentorship class, the Building Foundations mentorship class, and it was amazing, right? We had several brothers showed up, and we had brotherhood. We talked about some of the ways in which we can improve. And I was super excited. So for those that did not join, you missed out on a fantastic opportunity. And I'm giving you an invitation now to join the Chivalrous Man's Men's Group, the Building Foundations Mentorship Program. We have our meetings every Thursday at 8 o'clock. Okay. Also with the 4 meetings a month, we also provide one-on-one 30-minute one-on-one sessions a month where I talk to you or to your son or to your brother or whoever in a more personal manner, talking about ways in which we can improve ourselves and really specific to that person's needs, right? So if you are interested in joining the group, please, by all means, you can scan the QR code on the flyer. You can hit the link to join. You can email me. This is on the flyer as well. Or you can even text me. I have several ways in which you can get in touch with me if you are interested in joining. All that I ask in the email or in the text message, title it Chivalrous Men's Group. And we can go ahead and get started and we can connect, and I can give you these wonderful services that we have going on. Okay. What we're talking about today there's 10 rules that we can use to improve our lives right now. Very important. We don't have to wait for some miraculous moment. Small steps that we can do that change our philosophy today. So I'm going to go over the ones that we have in the past. So number 1, what we said is that we do not negotiate with our weaknesses, right? That alter ego, that negative self-talk in our brains, we do not negotiate with it, right? If you've made a plan, you sign a contract, you go ahead with that plan and that contract, and you do not allow for yourself to be swayed in any way, shape, or form. Number 2, what we do is we control our emotions, or know that you are going to be controlled by your emotions. So this is one of the things that we can do instantaneously. We can change about ourselves, that we do not allow for outside stimulus to allow for you to lose your quietude or your constitution. So this is something that we can do. Now, of course, these are step by step, right? What you did today might not have been successful. You implement these philosophies, and God willing, your tomorrow is better than your today or than your yesterday. Okay. Number 3, we do the hard things. Okay. Whatever those hard things may be, whether it be yard work, whether it be working out, whether it be your homework, right? One of the things that the motivational speaker Eric Thomas says, he said, we don't stop when we're tired. We stop when we're done. Okay. So we do the hard things, even if we don't want to do them, we don't feel like it. Okay. Number 4, we cut the noise and we master our focus. And that cutting the noise can be several different stimulus. It could be social media. It could be the negative self-talk within us. It could be the negative people that are around us, right? We cut that noise out of our lives. We cut those distractions out of our life. We cut that negativity out of our life, and we master our focus. Each and every one of us should have, and this is one of the things that I talk and I mentioned in my men's group, that each and every one of us should have a passionate purpose, something that we are trying to build to improve our tomorrow. Okay. And so we cut the noise that is preventing us from being a better person, and we master our focus, whether maybe we have to read a book, right? Maybe we have to listen to this podcast, whatever it is that we have to do, we master that and we remove the negative from our brain. Number 5, we stop seeking approval, right? We don't need anyone's approval to grow. You don't need anyone's approval to become the best version of yourself. Okay? So we stop seeking approval because sometimes that approval might not come. And what are we supposed to do? Just sit there and wait? No, you don't need approval for you to become the best version of yourself. So that's number 5. We stop seeking approval. Number 6, silence is power. Speak less and master more. And this touches on, and this connects with number 4, cutting the noise, right? But in this, what we understand is that sometimes being silent is okay. Okay? Sometimes being silent is okay. Not everybody has to know what you're thinking. Okay? But you should be every moment improving your life, though you're not looking for validation from other people. Okay? Number 7 was own your mistakes, right? We own our mistakes. The mistakes that we made, we own them, right? We don't blame anybody for the mistakes that we made. We don't even blame ourselves for the mistakes that we made, okay? One of the points it said is that if I would not make that same mistake today, that you are condemning an innocent man, okay? And we all have a past, right, that we can allow to consume us if we choose to, right? But we want to leave that past exactly where it's at, and we want to step into this future selves, right? But we have to own the mistakes and look at ourselves and take an assessment and critically think about the mistakes that we made, okay? And that gets us to where we are today. Number 8, rule number 8 of what we can do, a philosophy that we can do right now to change our condition is to understand that discomfort is a teacher. We do not run away from it. So I'm a wrestling coach, and one of the things that we say in the wrestling room is that iron sharpens iron, right? Iron sharpens iron, right? We don't run away from the difficulty. We don't run away from that harsh reality, right? We stand up to it, and we realize that what we go through is going to help us in the long run. And it reminds me of a story that I saw online about the lobster, right? That when does the lobster know that it has to shed its shell or shed its skin? And that means that there's some tension, right? There's some he's grown a certain size, and he is feeling discomfort. So he knows with that discomfort, it's time for him to grow, right? And I thought this was a fantastic analogy, because when that lobster sheds its old, smaller shell, then it has to hide until it grows its new shell, because it's vulnerable, right? Because it's vulnerable. So we understand that when we accept discomfort as our teacher, that is actually a time in which we know that we're growing. We're accepting that discomfort, right? And for a lot of men, sometimes you have to go away. And as they say, you have to go to the lab and work on yourself and build your exterior, right? And that shell, so that you can come back out and be the best version of yourself. And as I say this, it reminds me of, I was talking to, I'm a very religious person, and they said, every prophet of God had this discomfort, fleeing, strengthening, and then a return to where they once fled. Okay? And so we have to understand that this is a part of our development, right? That we do experience this discomfort, but we know that this discomfort is teaching us, but sometimes we have to go away and strengthen ourselves before we come back. Okay? Very, very important. So a statement of Will Smith, what he said. He said, everything that you want is on the other side of discipline. Okay? If you want to make more money, you have to become disciplined in mastering your skill. If you want to learn a new language, you have to become disciplined. If you want to become a doctor, you have to have discipline in your study. If whatever it is, right, whatever it is that you want, if you want to improve the matters with your family, if you want to improve the matters with your significant other, everything that you want is on the other side of living a disciplined life. Okay, and we know living a disciplined life at times can be very discomforting, but we don't run away from that. Okay, and my personal story, like I mentioned before, I'm a wrestling coach, and I'm a wrestling fanatic. Right now, a buddy of mine I used to work with when I worked in correction, he said that there's wrestling and there's wrestling. The stuff that is in the Olympics, that's wrestling. The stuff you see on TV in the tights, that's wrestling. But I was a wrestler, right? I'm a wrestling coach. And I started when I was in the 7th grade, and I was not very good at all, right? And I, I've cried many times because of the sport. But that summer, between the 7th and 8th grade, I put myself in a state of discomfort. I remember this vividly. I had a jump rope. Still to this day, I love to jump rope. And I went into my garage at my house. And of course, my parents' cars were in the garage. It smells like a garage. There's gasoline, there's oils, all of this, right? But I would take that jump rope and I would crack the garage door just a little bit to get fresh air, right? I was too embarrassed to open up all the way because I thought people might drive by and see me. But I would crack that garage door just a little bit, and I would start jump roping, right? I would start jump roping and jump roping and jump roping until when I came back the next year, I went from being one of the worst wrestlers on the team, right? And I'll tell you my story honestly. I didn't win a single match my first year. Not a single match. I didn't even know what the second period looked like my first year, right? I was getting pinned in the first period all the time, and then I went back the next year, right? And I drastically improved. I went from 0-12 to, if I think correctly, my record was 8th grade year 15-2, right? A huge transformation, but that was because I did the difficult work in that garage, right? Working on my footwork, jump roping, getting myself in shape, right? And I hit out in the garage as I strengthened myself. And then I was able to take that to success. And then I took that all the way to wrestling in Division III college. And then I take all of these lessons that I've learned, and I try to help out, young wrestlers and give them the beauty of the sport. Okay? So just a story from me to you of the putting myself in discomfort and recognizing that discomfort is a teacher. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to put ourselves in discomfort. One of the things that I watch my wife learn how to make videos and and I remember watching them when she didn't know how to do it, right? But now her videos are fantastic. Right? She didn't shy away from the discomfort. Okay? I watched my brother learn language, right? Put himself into difficult situations. It can be nerve-wracking to be the older person, in the room sometimes. I'm not saying him, and I'll say even for myself, I think about it. I didn't graduate from college until I was 38 years old. I went back to college at 33. So we put ourselves in a state of discomfort, but recognize that there is going to be benefit from that. Okay, so just go over the 10 steps, and then I'll go ahead and let you go. So 1, we don't negotiate with our weakness. We control our emotions, or else we will be controlled by them. We do the hard things, especially if we don't feel like it. We cut the noise and we master our focus. We stop seeking approval, right? We don't ask permission to grow. We recognize that silence is power. We speak less and master more. We own our mistakes. We own the good and the bad of it. We own our mistakes. And then finally today, we We accept discomfort as our teacher. We don't run from it. All right. So thank you guys for coming. I hope that you enjoyed these lessons. Remember, none of these points will work unless you do. You have to put them into your life. Okay. If you've enjoyed what I've said, I'm reaching out again. I have the Chivalrous Man's Men's Group Building Foundation Mentorship Program. We meet every Thursday at 8 p.m., 8 to 9. With your payment, you will receive 2 30-minute sessions a month where we will get more intimate and personal about what you're going through, and I can help you through various situations. And so I would really love for you to come out and to join us. Okay? So remember, guys, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you will reach your destination. Peace.